What if the only thing holding you back is how you understand each role within the Scrum framework? Are you truly unlocking the power of your product owner, Scrum Master, and development team, or are you unknowingly setting them up for failure? Today's episode, I'm going to expose the secrets to thriving in a Scrum environment that you've been missing out on. First of all, family, we're going to talk about the roles. Then we'll go into the aspect of what the responsibility is of each particular role, and that's a wrap. Let's get into it, family. So there's three roles in the Scrum framework. The first role is a product owner. The second role is a Scrum Master. And the last and final role is a development team. If you put everything together, meaning the product owner, Scrum Master, and development team, they call that a Scrum team. All right, let's talk about the Scrum responsibilities. So for the product owner is responsible for maximum value. Before I say anything else, this is something you want to remember is the product owner is trying to provide value. In the Scrum framework, we're always trying to provide value to the customer, whether customer can be identified as internal, external, but we're doing our best to provide value, a valuable product. This role also involves managing the product backlog. And I'm going to go into, so this is the beginners. I'm doing a whole series on this because I got some good feedback and I was like, I'm going to do a whole series around Agile. We're going to talk about the Scrum framework. I should say, we're going to talk about the Scrum framework. We're going to also talk about other frameworks. We're going to talk about Lean, but all under that whole Agile mindset umbrella. So back to this, I'll tell you, and what I mean by that is we'll also discuss what some of these terminologies is, like product backlog. Product backlog is what I call in my own translation is a wish list. And then we prioritize, or what they call backlog refinement, refining the backlog with which consists of a lot of user stories. So again, I'll go all into that in another episode. But right now, we're going to talk about the responsibilities since we've already identified the roles. So going back to this, product backlog, ensuring it's visible, transparent, and clear to all, and prioritizing items to achieve maximum value. That's that key word again, family. If you haven't noticed, Agile is all about providing value. It doesn't matter what framework you look at, what methodology you look at, it's about value. Their key responsibilities is define and prioritize requirements, clearly expressing product backlog items, order them to achieve, or I should say best achieve the goals and missions and ensure the development team understands the item. Then you have the stakeholder management. You work closely with stakeholders to understand and convey their needs. This role is really more or less a bridge between the development team and business stakeholders. So a good example would be the product owner is working with the customer to understand the vision, and the product owner takes the vision and dials it down. And then the team starts working with building out what the client is envisioning as what they want as the end products. And I want to make sure you understand that even though the relationship between the product owner and the stakeholder through the customer, it's still the business, or I should say, excuse me, the development team still interacts with the customer because that's the whole point. That's one of the principles of, if you look at the Agile manifesto, you will notice that one of the principles is the interaction with the customer. And then the last and final piece is accepting criteria, define what is considered done, or what we say the definition of done for each product backlog item, and review completed work to ensure it meets the necessary standards. Here's my professional advice. As a product owner, maintaining an open and continuous communication with stakeholders is crucial. Matter of fact, it's so crucial that this will not work. This framework will not work. Any methodology will not work if we can't keep a continuous communication with our stakeholder. It is essential to understanding the business context deeply and being decisive when prioritizing work to avoid delays and confusion with the development team. Our next role is Scrum Master. So the Scrum Master serves as a facilitator, coach for the Scrum team. And the Scrum team, as I told you, is the product owner, the development team, and the Scrum Master that encompass the Scrum team. They ensure that Scrum practices are followed and help the team become self-organizing and high performing. One thing about the Agile mindset, especially in Scrum and a lot of the other frameworks and methodologies, it's about self-organizing. It's about creating a high performing team that can that they can leverage each other's skill set. And again, this will be something else in the series that we're doing here. But again, self-organizing and high performing. The Scrum Master also removes impediments. So what the Scrum Master does, we're in a what they call a daily stand-up or a day or a yeah, daily stand-up. And what happens here is this is a time box activity, meaning that for 15 minutes every day, we're going to go around the room or go around the call and have a discussion about, hey, what did you work on yesterday? What are you working on today? And are there any impediments? Impediments are referencing things that are getting in your way from you doing what you need to do. And that does, and not just not a meaning like, hey, somebody owes you something they're supposed to give. It could be that you have someone that's you have a customer asking you for adding additional things, or people outside of the team coming in and asking for things that are not relevant to what you guys are building. And so that's an impediment because you're getting in the way. So you're taking away time from that actual development team. And so what that Scrum Master does is they take on that impediment, but we do not address the impediment in the daily stand-up. We have a separate meeting to discuss the impediment. We identify what the impediment is, but we work towards a solution during a different meeting. Okay. Key responsibility, they facilitate Scrum events, guiding. Now, this is the key word, guiding. They're not like as a project manager, we're more directive. It's more, yeah, I'll use the word directive. We're more directive. We're doing not all of the talking, about 90% of the talking because we're asking questions and we're following up on things and holding people accountable. This is the complete opposite. We're just guiding the daily stand-ups. We're just guiding the sprint planning. We're just guiding the sprint reviews and retrospective. So I'll tell you about each piece. So when it gets into sprint planning, this meaning that there are some items that will pull from the product backlog, put into our sprint planning. And now the development team is seeing which items are they going to work on, and then from the sprint planning, we move into our next aspect when we're actually just going ahead and moving forward with the sprint. After the sprint, which is the sprint reviews, we demo reviews is also can be called demo. So we go ahead and demo the increment or the particular increment of the product. And let the team know, excuse me, let the customer know, hey, is this what you're looking for? This is the little piece that we built. Give us your feedback. And then after from there, we go into retrospectives or sprint retrospectives. Retrospectives are similar into the project management world of lessons learned. But the thing I love about this is normally in lessons learned, we know project managers are supposed to be doing it throughout the whole entire project. But let's be honest, a lot of times we wait to the end and we have this big formal meeting and saying, hey, okay, tell me some things went well, what didn't go well. We're consistently doing this. So the retrospective is looking at ways to improve faster. How can we get better? What are we doing wrong? What are we doing right? And we're constantly looking ways to improve. The next key responsibility, like I talked about, removing roadblocks, proactively addressing issues that slow down the team's progress. Like I said, people that are interrupting the team, people that are trying to assign work to the team. And this can be technical or organizational barriers. Also, the Scrum Master also coaches the team. They help them understand the principles as well as the mindset and the values, because there's 12 principles, there's 4 values, and then the mindset is really getting the team adopted and adjusted because it's uncomfortable, especially if you ever went through an agile transformation. It's you notice people who don't like change that much, or but they've been doing a predictive approach to leading projects. And predictive is basically what is a more of a waterfall approach to leading projects. So the biggest thing here is what you're trying to do as a Scrum Master is really enhance the ability to build collaboration, to build productivity. You just want a growth mindset. And if you're unfamiliar with the growth mindset, there's an excellent book out there that I read at least once a year just to remind me and it's called Mindset by, oh, I can't, it's the author is leaving my mind right now, but the book is called Mindset. You type in mindset and it talks about the difference between a growth and a fixed mindset. A growth mindset looks at an issue and says, okay, how do we solve it? A fixed mindset is more of a, oh, this is never going to change. We're never going to fix this. So the team, so the Scrum Master is always pushing the team to have that growth mindset. Here's my professional advice. Effective Scrum Masters should cultivate a strong listening skill and remain neutral when facilitating discussions. Your goal, I love this word, is to empower, that don't mean take away, it means empower, uplift the team to solve their own problems while being a servant leader who supports and guides them. All right, let's get to the last one is development team. So the development team is responsible for delivering the potential releasable increment of done, meaning the product of each sprint. Remember what I talked about earlier is that the team is building increments of the product and we're trying to get to the definition of done. The team is self-organizing and members can work collaboratively to complete product backlog items. Here's a key responsibility. They're self-organizing. They decide amongst themselves how to accomplish the work laid out in the sprint backlog. So again, like I said, you have the sprint backlog, then you go into sprint planning, and then you go into the actual sprint. Accountability, commit to completing a work plan for each sprint and maintain high quality standards. One of the things, the caveats that you will hear a lot as well. What about quality? Quality is built in when you're actually building out when you're actually in the sprint. Cross-functional. So possesses all skills needed to deliver the product increment without depending on external resources. So what that is saying is you have everything you need right there within that development team. And you should be doing so XP has something called, XP is extreme programming. They have something called pair programming. What that means is that let's say you and I are working, we're right. So I may be writing the code, you may be observing the code, and then we'll flip flop each roles. But it's all about also building an additional skill set as well. Cause I may be a better coder than you, but you may be a better, be able to observe and catch things faster. And we work to learn from each other, to learn from each other's skill set that we could basically interchange in roles. Here's my professional advice. Team members should be encouraged to collaborate openly, share knowledge freely, and be transparent about their progress. One of the three pillars of Scrum is, first of all, transparency. Number two is inspection. And number three is this helps build trust and ensure that obstacles are addressed promptly. Additionally, fostering culture where members can voice their concern and offer feedback leads to a healthier, more effective team. So one of the things I really love about leading in a Scrum framework is the ability to be very transparent, not to hide things. We're not looking to hide things. We're not looking to sit on things. Hey, why didn't this work? And normally we'll have these discussions in our sprint retrospective, and we may have them in our sprint reviews with the customer. More or less, is a lot of this very transparent stuff is going to be in our sprint retrospectives. All right, family, I'm going to just give you some additional tips for beginners. And if you're looking to understand more about Scrum and how it works, again, we just covered the roles as well as the responsibilities of each particular role. And I'm just going to give you some more information. So understand the importance of each role. Each Scrum role is vital to the framework's success. Everyone ensures everyone understands their responsibility and the value that they bring to the team. Communication, communication, communication. Focus on communication. Clear, concise, and transparent communication is truly the backbone of an effective Scrum team. Using tools like a daily stand-up to ensure everyone is aligned and aware of any roadblocks. My next one is embrace continuous improvement. Remember, we talked about retrospectives. Retrospectives is where we have open conversations where we even look to experiment with new practices and new ideals. The goal is not just to deliver a product, but to continuously evolve and get better as a team. Respect the roles, avoid overlapping responsibility. For example, the product owner should not micromanage the development team, and the Scrum Master should not act as a project manager imposing tasks. And my last and final one is being adaptable and being flexible. Scrum is an adaptable framework. Be prepared to adjust your approach based on what serves the team and the input. All right, family, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. This is more of a beginner's type. If you're looking to understand the Scrum framework, I will be doing a whole series of this where we'll be going deeper and we're going to be talking about terminologies. We're going to also look at some other methodologies and frameworks. So I want to bring you along with me on the journey. We'll also be covering some of the agile practice guys. So I have a whole slew of things. So I hope this episode does well for somebody. I hope someone leaves a comment or reaches out. You can always leave. I have a link where you got any questions about what I just discussed or anything I ever discussed. Feel free to hit that link and ask a question. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. I go by the name of ED for you, smart and intelligent folks out there. That just simply means it. Until next time.